Dot Fips, everybody.
Is it going yet?
Yeah. Lovely. Your next performer, well, I got a new name, but I'm just gonna drop in the bucket. Not drop in the bucket. Evan is on deck. Evan's on deck.
Yes.
Not right now, but you're next. Not right now, but you are next. Right up now. It's a man who's gone by several names, but he's always a delight. Make some noise for Abe. Oh shit, was it Foreman or Froman?
Froman.
Froman. Abe Froman.
Y'all, I'm Abe Froman. I think I saw some fucking shit in the bucket here. Let's see what's going on. Alright, I found one Kanye. Holy shit, a lot of people who talk about Jay-Z, Kanye West, are fucking awesome rappers, and I was rapping to that song about like the N-word in Paris. That's a fucking awesome song by Jay-Z and Kanye West. But anyway, I go by a lot of random names. I've been known as like Abe Froman. Besides that, I'm pretty sure you guys know me as Ferris Bueller. I'd like to tell you guys a story about when I was in high school. I went to Shermer High School in Illinois back in the day, and when I was in high school, I used to play hooky and ditch school, and it was fucking awesome. Now, when I was a senior in high school, there was a time when I did school, and I pretended to be sick when I really wasn't sick. And my parents, Katie and Tom Bueller, believed I was sick, so they told me to stay home. But my sister Jeannie didn't believe I was sick, and she was just fucking pissed off all the time, and she didn't even want to believe my shit. So when I called in my 9th sick day and took the day off of school, I spent the entire day in downtown Chicago with my girlfriend Sloan and my best friend Cameron, and it was fucking awesome. So first I called Cameron and I asked him to come over to my house and pick me up since I didn't have a fucking car at the time. Cameron, thought he was sick, he wanted to come over, but he wasn't really sick. But he eventually came over and we got there. When he got to my house, he prank called Principal Rooney at my high school, and he wanted to dismiss Sloan from school. Cameron pretended to be Sloan's father, George Peterson, and he wanted to get Sloan out of school. So we got away with it. We got Sloan out of school, and when we found out that Rooney was going to be out there with Sloan, we borrowed Cameron's dad's Ferrari, and we picked up Sloan from school, and we took the car downtown, and it was fucking awesome. Once we picked up Sloan from school, we were ready to enjoy a fucking awesome day in downtown Chicago. Now, when we were there, we took the car to the parking garage and gave it to the parking attendant, but he didn't do his fucking job. He just drove the car a bunch of miles, and we didn't even know about it at first. And then, we were there, we're in Chicago. When we were downtown in Chicago, visited the Sears Tower, and then we went out to lunch at a fancy French restaurant. When we were there, I looked at the book of reservations, and I stole someone else's reservation, and I told the guy at the restaurant that my name was Abe Froman, and he's like, wait, are you the Sausage King of Chicago? I'm like, yeah, that's me. And he asked us to leave, and he threatened to call the police. I'm like, you know what, I'll just call the police myself. So I grabbed the phone at the restaurant, and I acted like I was calling the police, but I didn't really call the police. I really just called the restaurant. And then Sloan talked on the phone and asked for Abe Froman, and then we got seated, and it was fucking awesome. So then after we left the restaurant, we continued to enjoy the day in Chicago. But meanwhile, Principal Rooney left the school grounds, and he came over to my house, and he tried to break in. He rang the doorbell, but my automated voice was on the doorbell. But he tried to break into the house, but there was a dog at the house. He chased him, and they scared the shit out of Rooney. But one thing we did later in the day in downtown Chicago was I was in a parade. I was lip singing to Donkey Shane, and I was also singing Twist and Shout by the Beatles. The crowd fucking loved it. And then after the parade, Cameron, Sloan, and I, we picked up the Ferrari, and we started to drive home. And when I asked Cameron how many miles were on the car, he said how many miles were on, but when he realized how many miles were added to the car, he went fucking berserk, was screaming, and lost control. I'm like, what the fuck? So we tried to help Cameron feel better, but there was nothing working. When we were back at Cameron's house, Cameron just was pissed off enough that he destroyed his dad's Ferrari. He kept kicking the car, he destroyed it, and he killed the car, and then he didn't even realize what he did. But I offered to take the heat for it, but he said, you know what, I'll just do that. I'll stand up to my dick to dad. So then, I did that shit. And then after that shit was over, I said goodbye to Sloan and Cameron. I rushed home, I ran home, got home just on time. And I told my parents I was feeling better, but they thought I was still sick due to being hot on my run home. But I knew I was all right, and I was glad I enjoyed a fucking awesome day in Chicago. And one quote of mine that I'll close with is, life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop to look around once in a while, you can miss it. That's my time. Thanks for watching tonight. You guys have a wonderful night. Thank you.
Froman, everybody, with a lovely recap of the movie Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Gotta love it.